Barry Winford, the leadoff man and the catcher for Mississippi State, will lead things off here in the second game of the doubleheader. Winford, a check swing single in the first inning, his only base hit of the game. He also struck out twice and grounded out to short in game one, 1 for 4.
Leading off for the Bulldogs.
Winford will be followed by John Cohen and Jody Hurst. We're set to go with game two. And the pitch by Wiggs is high for ball one. Curveball in for strike one, 1-1. Nice breaking ball on the inside corner. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Barry Winford.
Early on, it looks like Wiggs has the good breaking stuff tonight, and that's one of the keys to be successful. He needs to locate that pitch, working in on the corners.
Trying to sneak a fastball by him, and Winford hit it off his fist into the screen. Count remains 1-2.
Well, that's what they call the sneaky fastball. He entices them with 2 breaking balls at about 75 miles an hour, and then he throws his 82-mile-an-hour fastball, and you could probably add about 8 miles an hour to it because you're setting up for the breaking ball.
Swung late on that fastball, and the count stays 1-2. I guess Pete Young hadn't gotten over the bad shrimp.
Not starting in game 2. And here's a guy they count on to set up Martin, and had he been ready, you never know if he would have gone in to pitch after Norman. But only the chef will know.
Foul tip. Fernandez holds on for strike 3. A nice start to the second game of the doubleheader for Johnny Wiggs.
No, typical Johnny Wiggs. Good breaking ball, just on the inside, swung right through it. And Winford having a tough time tonight.
That'll bring up John Cohen. In the first game of the doubleheader, he was hitless. He scored a run as he reached on a fielder's choice in the first inning. The K Club is hoping to have a big evening here in game 2. Gidcombe struck out 5 in the first game of the doubleheader. Gidcombe and Wiggs, what a nice 1-2 combination all year long for Joe Arnold's ball club. The right-hander, the left-hander. They've both been very consistent. Breaking ball just missed. 2-0.
You got to remember, these guys were in junior college last year. Joe Arnold signs them to come over to play at Florida this year, and it's been all the difference in the world.
Three balls and no strikes to Cohen. Jody Hurst is on deck. Cohen taken all the way, and the fastball is inside. So Wiggs struck out the first batter that he faced. And
now this looks like a bad date on the love connection taking place here.
a couple of dating game winners, maybe.
Well, where's Chuck Woolery when you need him?
Hurst, a couple of hits in the first game of the doubleheader. He singled and scored a run in the first, and
Number 6, center fielder,
grounded out in the
Hurst.
third, singled in the fifth inning of game one, was 2 for 3. Snap throw over by Wiggs, chases Cohen back to the bag. But he slides in safely under the tag. Big curveball in for strike one.
Curveball starts it out on the outside, catches the corner. That's his style. Well, if you couldn't see that, Fernandez pointing towards first base with his right thumb, meaning throw the ball over. Let's see if we see it again. Watch him sit up here. Nope. Breaker.
Right back up the middle. Cohen will stop at second. And Hurst is on at first with a base hit.
There's Hurst at first.
And there's Cohen at second.
Good piece of hitting by Hurst. That ball was low, breaking ball. He kept his hands back, drove it right up the middle. And after you see two good hitters, you get a third.
Tommy Raffo out of the Jacksonville area. Big two-run home run in the first game of the doubleheader. Couple of RBIs and a run scored for Raffo. The 1-0 pitch. Fernandez wants to chat with his young left-hander.
And that guy right there, Tommy Raffo, was teammates with Tommy Edwards over at Bishop Kenny High School in Jacksonville. And the key to a guy like Johnny Wiggs, who doesn't throw hard and mixes it up, is to get ahead of the hitters. And 2-0 is not where he wants to be.
Neither is 3-0. Gidcombe was off to a shaky start in the first game in the first inning. Gave up 3 runs and a 3-run home run to the man who's in the on-deck circle, and now Wiggs is struggling here in the first of game 2. The curveball missed high, and Wiggs has loaded the bases for the conference's home run leader, Richie Graham.
Now here's the breaking ball. He doesn't, as Johnny Wiggs is known to do, does not give in on a 3-1 pitch. He does not throw the fastball, goes to the curve. And Ron Polk checking his lineup. Maybe looking down the road when Pete Young might feel better and come in and play in this game. I know he did not count on that man missing a doubleheader today. Pete Young, the regular third baseman for Mississippi State. Well, the fans have a banner up. They want to see a Graham slam, and here's a guy who has an opportunity right here. I guess it was the group from Green Cove Springs that came down supporting this man right here. 2 for 2 and a home run, 2 RBIs, adding to his SEC lead. 12 home runs, 55 RBIs.
Curveball is in for strike 1 to Graham. Shortstop Brand Hildreth waits on deck to face left-hander Johnny Wiggs. Fly ball out of play, left side of the infield. No balls and 2 strikes. Wiggs got himself into trouble with the walks here in the first inning, but he's gone 0-2 on Richie Graham. Went sidearm with a fastball and struck him out. Strikeout number 2 of the inning.
Big strikeout to get that man. We talked about it. The fastball looks faster after you see a few of this guy's breaking stuff. He drops down with the delivery and gets it right by him. And another one for the K corner.
Now batting is the shortstop, number 4, Brad Hildreth.
Brad Hildreth at the plate now. Still the bases loaded with 2 outs in the inning. Wiggs from the belt. Missed outside, ball 1. Hildreth had a single in the first game, but struck out twice against Jeff Gitcomb. Fastball by him, 1 ball and 1 strike.
Gator outfield straight away, infield naturally deep with 2 down.
And the 1-1. High bouncer down to third baseman Alan Rutledge. Quick throw across, a scoop, but he's safe. Oxley tried to scoop it up out of the dirt. I'm not sure if his foot was on the bag, even if he'd held onto the ball, and the Bulldogs are up 1-0.
Well, because the infield is back, Alan Rutledge had to play this on the short hop. Wiggs does his job. He gets the ground ball, and you see the shortstop. The short hop. It comes off the grass, and he bobbles it and has to rush the throw, and Oxley couldn't come up with it.
And the replay showed his foot was on the bag if he'd been able to come up with the short hop throw. And they've scored that in error on third baseman Alan Rutledge.
Number 23, third baseman Burke Masters.
Mississippi State with a 1-0 lead, and they've still got the bases loaded with 2 outs in the inning. And Burke Masters at the plate. Breaking ball is in for a strike. Masters hitless in game 1 of the doubleheader. Wiggs with the full windup, foul out of play. 0-2.
Burke Masters, they're courting him as a possible Rhodes Scholar candidate. Math and computer science major.
Another chopper down to third baseman Alan Rutledge. The throw across is in time, and Florida's out of a tough inning. It looks like Oxley may have injured himself a little bit on that stretch. Bulldogs get a run in the top of the first. We'll be right back.
When I was playing hockey, I wore special equipment for protection against injury. I'm Gordie Howe reminding you that in a car, you also need the protection of a seatbelt.
The first pitch is a ball to Brian Remsnyder.
When Mr. Ellis gets in trouble, it's via the walk.
Three balls and no strikes to Remsnyder, who remarkably did not walk in the first game of the doubleheader. 3-1. Three balls and 2 strikes. Brian had an RBI single in game 1. And he rips the ball to center field in front of Jody Hurst for a base hit. On that last play, or I guess the play before in the top half of the first inning, it looked like Steve Oxley was shaken up. Let's take a look at it again. And maybe a growing pull or
Stepping to the plate is number 4, second baseman Tommy Edwards.
Or worse.
Or worse. The unspeakable. Tommy Edwards steps in to face Brian Remsnyder. Or rather to face Ellis with Remsnyder down at first. Bulldogs got a run in the top of the first. And Edwards, who had the game-winning hit in game 1, takes the first pitch for a ball. Edwards had a couple of hits in the first game. Scored a run, drove one in, the game winner, with his triple. In the bottom of the 6th inning, Ellis throws to first. And Remsnyder is back safely.
6 stolen bases in 9 attempts for Brian over at first.
Almost threw it away.
Bad location on that throw. Needs to bring that down.
A little bit closer that time, but Remsnyder slides in safely.
Let's see that last throw over to first base. Throw in a good spot.
Thought Brian was leaning on that.
Usually the first runner will take a one-way lead to see the move of the pitcher, get him to throw over.
Bluffs the run. Edwards looking for the gap in right center field, and it falls in. Not in the gap, but for a base hit. Runners at first and second. So Tommy Edwards is having a big night at the plate. Florida's off and running in game 2 of the doubleheader with its first 2 batters on. And number 3-man shortstop Julio Mendez stepping in.
That man is quickly in trouble, as was Wiggs in the first, the Gator pitcher.
Now batting is
The Gators run that second and third steal. One wonders if they do it here, the one where the runner on first takes a big lead.
Ground ball through the left side of the infield. Remsnyder will hold at third. But the Gators have the bases loaded with nobody out in the bottom of the first.
Well, we'll never know about the delayed steal because things are getting worse for Terry Ellis. Look at the light of those people.
And timeout on the field is Mr. McMahon will chat with his starting pitcher. And remember, folks, that he's out there with Mario Linares at the plate.
Made 2 trips, did the Mississippi State coaches with Steve Zare up, which was a no-no. They brought in a pitcher, but Joe Arnold and the coaching staff was waiting for that play because Mississippi State tried it a week ago, and that's an infraction of the rules, which ultimately ended up leading to 2 Gator runs in the first game, 2 key runs in that ball game, as the pitcher they took out had to come back on the field and complete the hitter. You cannot make 2 trips to the mound with the same hitter.
Bases are full of Gators. Here's the pitch from Ellis. Ball 1. Mario Linares hitless in game 1. He walked twice. Fastball is a call strike. Remsnyder at third, Edwards at second, Mendez at first. Nobody out in the bottom of the first. The 1-1 pitch is a breaking ball that stays inside. 2 balls and 1 strike. Got him with a curveball, 2 balls and 2 strikes. The Gators' leading hitter, Mario Linares.
Leads them also in RBIs with 40. He wants to add to that total. He's going to be thinking right side here.
Struck him out with a good breaking ball.
Well, he wasn't thinking right side. Tries to pull this breaking ball. Misses it by more than a little bit.
And with one out in the inning, Gator hopes rest on the shoulders of right fielder Ned Brigham.
That was a good pitch right there by Terry Ellis to get the number 4 hitter.
1-0. Brigham, an important RBI triple in the 4th inning of game 1. The fastball is high, and he's fallen behind the left-handed hitter. 2-0. Brigham was looking for the fastball, and he knew it, and he would like to have that one back again. With the 2-0 pitch, the bases loaded. I think Ned was sitting back on a fastball.
Well, that's understandable. He'll be a little bit anxious in this situation. He just has to keep his discipline on the next pitch here.
Line drive into left field. Snyder scores from third. Nace fumbles it in left field, but not so that Edwards can score. And the Gators have tied the game at 1, and they still have the bases loaded with 1 out.
That's going to make John and Joanne Brigham happy up in New England, as their son takes a pitch right here and goes right with it. A good piece of hitting. Now the runner at second, Tommy Edwards, anticipating that ball being caught. That's why he doesn't have a chance. However, you play station to station right here. And now, I guess you can best describe this guy as prime time, Tim Oxley. This guy just does it time and time again when there's a televised baseball game.
And just as we speak, Oxley rips the ball into right field. 1 run scores. 2 runs will score. It's 3-0, and the Gators have runners at first and second. A 2-run single by Tim Oxley. And a 3-1 Florida Gator lead.
Well, Tim Oxley came into this game 21 for 69. However, he's 12 for 21 in TV games. He has 19 RBIs on the year, 14 on Sports Channel telecast originating from Gainesville. The guy has been phenomenal. His slugging percentage on television is over 1,200. I mean,
Prime time Oxley.
It's astounding the stats when this man knows the tubes are going.
That was the 5th single of the inning against the Starkville High School product, Terry Ellis. Oxley and Brigham at first and second. Still only 1 out in the inning. The Gators with 3 runs across. Had a great cut at a fastball and has fallen behind in the count 0-2.
Let's see where they go with him here. Looks like they're going to go outside.
Struck him out with a fastball. Looked like it was right down the middle.
Actually, it looked like what they call the circle change. Let's see if we can take a look at it here. Now watch this ball break.
Bottom fell out of it.
At bat is the third baseman, number 20, Alan Rutledge.
2 outs now, and Alan Rutledge steps in with runners still at first and second. Ellis wanted to know where that pitch was. He thought the curveball was on the corner.
Going into these last few series, guys like Rutledge, Brigham, Zare, going to be heavily counted on for Joe Arnold.
That curveball was in for a strike.
So far today, Zare and Brigham have responded.
1-2.
Rutledge looked like he was trying to pull that pitch, breaking ball.
Barry Winford was shaken up on this foul ball off the bat of Alan Rutledge. We were blocked out.
He's tough. He came to Mississippi State on a football scholarship.
Terry Ellis struck out the side. But Florida got 3 runs and 5 base hits to take a 3-1 lead after one complete at Perry Field in Gainesville, Florida. Baseball, when the Bulldogs and the Gators meet again here in Gainesville, Nick Belmonte and I will bring you all the live action at 1:30. Gator baseball only on Sports Channel Florida. Johnny Wiggs pitching to Bulldogs second baseman John Shave. Check this swing, count evens at 1-1. Shave grounded out to Alan Rutledge at third base twice in the first game of the doubleheader. Might not be in the starting lineup tonight if it weren't for some bad shrimp eaten by Pete Young. 1-2.
What are you doing for dinner lately, or later, Dave?
I'm going to have some shrimp, I think.
Okay.
The 1-2, line into right field. Brigham didn't have to move for out number 1. Ball well hit by Shave, but right at the right fielder, Ned Brigham. So there's 1 out in the inning, and left fielder Todd Ney steps to the plate. Nace is one of their few left-handed bats. He and Cohen. Everybody else swings from the right side. And one of the reasons they've been so tough on left-handers all year. The pitch from Johnny Wiggs. Wanted to butt himself on and missed at the curveball. One and one. If you joined us late, Florida won the first game of the doubleheader 6-5. Jeff Gidcombe went the distance to pick up his 11th win of the year. Ground ball fair down the left field line. Nace is legging it, and he'll have an easy double, and Remsnyder just now relaying the ball into Julio Mendez. Rutledge made a nice stab at it, but that ball was well hit between Rutledge and the third base bag.
Well, Todd Nace usually does not see that much action against left-handed pitchers. Hits this pitch right here. He goes with it down the line. Fastball down and away. Goes with it nicely. And just inside the bag for the double.
Number 48, Barry Winford.
Second hit off of Johnny Wiggs. The leadoff man, Barry Winford, who struck out in the first against Wiggs. Left the fastball up. 1 ball, no strikes. Curveball evens the count at 1-1.
Winford tonight has had promise pulling off pitches. 3 strikeouts so far in the 2 games.
Almost threw that one to the backstop. 2 balls and a strike.
interesting story. That glove right there used by Jose Fernandez was given to him by former Expo and Yankee catcher Bobby Ramos, who's a friend of Jose's.
Ground ball to Julio Mendez. There are 2 outs in the inning. Remsnyder tried to backdoor one in on Todd Nace at second, but Nace had not wandered too far off the bag, and there are 2 outs. And now John Cohen will step to the plate. Cohen looking for his first hit in the doubleheader. Came in hitting .341.
Right fielder, number 11, John Cohen.
Bulldogs with a runner at second and 2 outs. Curveball is outside. Mississippi State got a run in the first. Florida answered with 3 runs in the bottom of the first. The 1-0 pitch. Curveball outside, 2 balls and no strikes.
You can't be too fine to this guy right here with Hurst on deck.
The curve caught the inside corner. 2-1.
2-0, 3-1. He'll still throw you the off-speed stuff.
Cohen's batting average has dropped 8 points in this game so far. He's 0 for 4. Down to .333. Hit that ball well to center field, but again, right at Mike Moberg, and Johnny Wiggs gets himself out of a minor jam in the top half of the second inning, and after an inning and a half, the Gators 3, the Bulldogs 1. Florida leads the Bulldogs 3-1 early in game 2. And Mike Moberg will lead things off in the bottom half of the second inning to face the senior right-hander Terry Ellis. Well hit ball into center field. Now maybe not so well hit as Hurst comes in to make the catch. Hurst was fooled a little bit on the bat as well, and he had a little bit of a late start, but Moberg is an easy out to begin the inning. Mike still hitless in this doubleheader. Ryan Remsnyder singled to start a very successful bottom half of the first inning. He's 2 for 5 in the doubleheader. 1 ball and 1 strike. Showed the bunt, but took the fastball outside, 2-1.
But that's a good play. Even though you show it, you make that third baseman possibly creep up, and maybe you slap one by him.
Here we go, Peter.
3 balls and 2 strikes. Remsnyder with that wide open stance from the left side. That right foot almost pointing toward first base. Nubs one. Second baseman Shave with a tough play, and he doesn't get him. An infield hit for Brian Remsnyder.
You're talking about the open stance that Remsnyder uses, but you'll see it right here. He'll always bring it back, though. See, he'll always start back where most of the hitters hit. It's just the way he feels comfortable setting up. And that ball's a tough play.
Now batting is number 4, second baseman Tommy.
And there's Remsnyder digging hard, running good. There's actually a way to run the first base. And notice he didn't leap at the bag. He leaned into the bag, and there's a big difference. When you leap, you slow yourself down. If you just lean, like a track guy breaking a tape in a race, it's a better technique. you don't slow yourself down, and that was a great shot of him doing that. And you also run with your head up. You're not looking down on the ground. So Remsnyder with good running mechanics.
Big night for this young man. Game-winning triple in the bottom of the 6th of game 1. Singled and scored the second run of the inning, and inning number 1 here in game 2. Remsnyder was running on that last pitch to Edwards, and he fouled it down the left field side. Quick throw by Ellis. A couple of Mississippi State Bulldogs warming up.
Tracy Jobs, number 8, and number 10 is Wes Johnson. He's the left-hander. Those are the designated long relievers tonight for Ron Polk. The crowd getting a little restless here as Ellis throwing the ball over to first base. A little excessive in their minds.
Count remains 0-2. Tommy Edwards has been one tough out here tonight. He, in fact, has not been retired since the first inning of game 1 when he popped out to short. He then walked, singled, tripled, singled again here in the first inning. Ellis working on Remsnyder over at first base.
This is a 0-2 pitch coming right here. A good pitch to pitch out on, but if you're going to pitch out, you normally would not throw the ball to first base.
Remsnyder's running. And again, Edwards fouls the ball down the third base side.
Why do you run 0-2? Well, the coach is trying to maybe outguess what the pitcher is going to throw. 0-2, you're more inclined to throw a breaking ball away, which takes a lot longer to retrieve by the catcher and throw. So you're gambling there that a curveball is coming. So that's why you steal 0-2.
Remsnyder not running. Ground ball to third. They bobbled the throw, shaved it, and everybody's safe.
Oh, boy. Well, you got the curveball, hit it to third. Masters fields the ball cleanly, and now, taking his life in his hands, is shaved. Holding the ball up, but in the opinion of the umpire, did not have it when Remsnyder tagged the base.
The shortstop, number 10, Julio Mendez.
Give the air to the third baseman. Burke Masters. Now the Gators with runners at first and second, 1 out. And Julio Mendez at the plate. The senior from Miami. 1 for 4 in the first game, singled and scored the second run of the game in the first inning. 1 out in the inning. Well hit ball to left, but caught by Nance. Boy, you can't hit it any harder than Julio Mendez just did. But Nace made a nice play to stay with it.
He's going to take this pitch and ride it right out to left field. Hanging curveball. Now Nace, the left fielder, takes 2 steps in and then has to go back. That's dangerous on a line drive to be moving in. Usually hold your ground and then react. If the ball's hit that hard, you will not have to move in that much for it. But you definitely do not want that ball over your head. But a nice recovery.
Now there are 2 outs in the inning, and Mario Linares, who's been a strikeout victim twice here tonight, has walked a couple of times in the doubleheader and is 0 for 2. First pitch is a ball. Gators have a chance here in the second to really do some serious damage. That ball well hit off the bat of Mendez. And a tough break, but now with 2 outs, Linares has a chance.
Any breaking ball that Ellis throws to Linares hopefully will be away, because he's been hanging breaking balls this inning.
Got around on that fastball, but chopped it foul. 1-1. Ellis has not been much of a mystery here for the most part in the early going. He did strike out the side in the first inning, but those 3 Ks were sandwiched around 5 base hits. The Gators have added a 6th hit here in the second. That's a nice looking curveball that fell on the outside part of the plate. 1-2. They've been getting Mario with the breaking ball away tonight.
And Mario has not taken a shot to the right side, something that he does very well for a freshman.
The 1-2. Linares has struck out for the 3rd time tonight. And Ellis pitches himself out of a second inning jam. We've played 2 complete. The Florida Gators 3, the Mississippi State Bulldogs 1.
I know some kids say I'm cool. I can handle drugs. I can take them or leave them. I'm telling you, they can't. No one has been able to handle drugs. No one. Drugs ruin people's lives and hurt everyone around them. There's only one answer. Don't even try drugs. No matter how you say no. Don't foul out with drugs.
Look, I stole for cocaine. See, cocaine torments you till you do anything to get it. You become evil, a real conniver. I'm not that bad of a guy. I'm not that low. When you do cocaine, you lie to yourself about being in control. I got to the point where my life was going down the drain, and I didn't even care. Anyone tells you cocaine's okay, don't believe it.
Call 1-800-662-HELP.
Let's see that last curveball by Terry Ellis. And Linares has been pulling off those pitches tonight. You can see him pulled ahead, and the curveball has him fooled. So the youngster having a rough night.
Johnny Wiggs, who struggled through the first inning, but settled down a good deal in the second, now faces Jody Hurst. The fastball is high, and Fernandez takes a long step out toward the mound and speaks some words of encouragement for his left-hander. That's a good fastball. Foul tipped into the mid of Fernandez. 1 ball, 1 strike.
That's the sneaky fastball set up by the breaking ball. Makes your reaction time just a little bit slower.
Fly ball into right field. Brigham won't get there. Second hit of the game for Jody Hurst. Hurst has 4 hits in this doubleheader. He's 4 for 5.
And came into the game leading the Southeastern Conference in hitting with a .390 mark.
Didn't hit that ball very well at all, but that's what happens when you're hot. Those spaces between the fielders seem like they're acres wide. And you got a Julio Mendez who tattoos the ball right at the left fielder.
Big inning for Johnny Wiggs, going through the heart of the Mississippi State lineup with only a 2-run lead.
Raffo walked in the first. 1 ball and 1 strike to count to the Mississippi State first baseman. From Orange Park, Florida, Tommy Raffo. Big 2-run homer in game 1 of the doubleheader.
Tommy Raffo didn't even play fall baseball at Mississippi State this year. He fractured his hand last summer and had to have surgery and didn't get a chance to play fall baseball.
Ball gets away from Fernandez, and Hurst strolls down to second. Looked like a wild pitch. I think that ball bounced up to Fernandez.
Let's see where this pitch goes. In the dirt. Wild pitch. See Jose Fernandez.
Now a runner down in scoring position. The 2-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. 2 balls and 2 strikes. The 2-2. Fastball is high and away. 3 balls and 2 strikes.
Just never know where Johnny Wiggs is going to do on a 3-2. You can't say he's going to come in with a fastball because he's capable of any pitch. Like he called a fastball away.
He struck him out with a fastball. I think it was on the inside corner of the plate. But he blew it right
outside.
by.
Yeah, he motioned outside, then came back inside, and you see Jose set up outside, and the pitch comes back over.
3rd strikeout of the game for Johnny Wiggs. And that was a big out because now you've got Graham coming up with just a runner down at second.
You see the Johnny Wiggs K section. They're getting their stats together over there. It's a busy night.
Breaking ball is in for strike 1. Graham, a strikeout victim of Johnny Wiggs in the first. 2 for 2 in the first game with 3 RBIs on a 3-run home run. Went sidearm with a breaking ball for strike 2. Graham was really fooled on that one.
And he didn't like this one bit. Actually, that ball is usually called as it crosses the plate, and Mr. Graham felt it had not.
Nice stop by Fernandez to keep Hurst at second base. Most of the people that began the evening here are still around. Coming up on the 10 o'clock hour in Gainesville.
There's your overview of the ballpark, or as overview as you're going to get.
Well, the blimp couldn't make it tonight.
Give it the night off.
The 1-2. Came sidearm with another curveball. Left-handers don't see that pitch very much. A sidearm curveball from a fellow lefty.
I don't know if they see it. They sure as heck don't like it. You get that 1 foot in the dugout. Watch those guys bail out on that pitch.
He's been working him with the sidearm curve. Let's see what he comes up with. The fastball to strike him out. Oh, he sets you up so nicely with that big breaking curveball and then comes in with a hard one.
Well, add another K to the K corner. And as you said, David, he sets you up. He'll throw the curve, and then the fastball away, and you just can't catch up to it.
Doesn't throw that hard, Wiggs, but he's recorded 4 strikeouts here tonight. 68 strikeouts now in the season in just over 70 innings.
He paints corners, sets up. He's the artist.
Joe Arnold with one victory under his belt and a 3-1 lead here in game number 2. Curveball is in for strike one to shortstop Brad Hildreth.
And I believe he only needs 8 more for his 500th win.
Good stop again by Jose Fernandez. Jose did not catch game 1. Mario Linares was behind the plate. Hurst started the inning with a single, but he's been standing out there now for quite a while as he's watched Wiggs strike out Raffo and Graham.
And that's a good thing to bring up right here is the fact that he has that bad quadricep muscle in his leg, so the outfielders have a little bit more time to gather themselves up in the event of a base hit. Now, whether they know that or not is another question. One would think that they do. They're playing as if they do. They're fairly deep all the way around.
Well hit ball to right. Right at Ned Brigham for out number 3. A leadoff single by Jody Hurst is by the boards, and after 2.5, Gators 3, Bulldogs 1.
Here in this land of plenty, about 10 million people are hungry. Many don't know they're eligible for food stamps. They've lost a job, a farm, or a husband. Food stamps can help. Now one call can get you information to tell you if you qualify for food stamps and how to get them. America has made a place at our table of plenty for you. Call 1-800-453-4000. Mealtimes don't have to be tough times.
I was a vice president of a Fortune 500 company. I had a beautiful family, a big house in the suburbs, everything I wanted. Then I got into cocaine, and I almost lost it all. It's a lie that cocaine's not addictive. I didn't choose to be an addict. Quitting cocaine was the only thing I couldn't do by myself. I'll be a recovering addict day by day for the rest of my life.
Call 1-800-662-HELP.
Mississippi State fans have made the trek from the northern part of the Magnolia State. Ned Brigham leads off the bottom half of the 3rd for the Florida Gators. Gators lead 3-1. All the scoring came in the 1st inning. Brigham a single in the 1st inning. That brought in the first Florida run of the night. Ned's coming out of a slump here in this doubleheader. He came into this evening's games 4 of his last 24. Ned with a triple in game 1, a single to bring home a run in the 1st inning here, and he draws a walk to start the bottom half of the 3rd for the Florida Gators.
Well, they need a guy like him to get going. It's getting late in the year, and a guy with his ability to get hot would be great. And here's a guy with some ability on Sports Channel at home, Tim Oxley. This is what he has done on television games originating from Gainesville on Sports Channel. 12 for 21, 14 RBIs. That's 14 out of his 19, 3 of his 3 home runs, 4 of his 6 doubles, and his on-base percentage is .640. And get him some makeup, please. He's on television. Guess the way to get him excited is to bring out a clapboard.
I think it might be worth it just to bring guys with cameras out. Set them up around the field even if you're not on TV. 1-0. The count to Tim Oxley.
And the funny thing about it, here's the most phenomenal stat. His slugging percentage, where you take total bases and divide them by at-bats, coming into his total slugging percentage is .522. On television, his slugging percentage is over 1,200. And you're figuring a guy like Mike Fiore down at the University of Miami last year, an All-American year, had a .611 slugging percentage, so that puts that in perspective.
Left-hander Johnson, right-hander Jobs up again in the Bulldog bullpen. Drove in a couple of runs in the first to stake the ball club to a 3-1 lead. And a good cut at that fastball. 2 balls and a strike. Oxley's a sophomore from Apopka.
Ed Brigham over at first base, 14 stolen bases, which leads the Gators in a steal situation here with a 2-1 count.
Bad throw, but Raffle knocked it down. In fact, ricocheted it right back into the hands of Ellis. Like it was on a string.
Reminds me of a tee shot I hit once. It ricocheted off a tree and landed right next to me in the tee box.
Curveball missed inside. It's 3-1 to Florida first baseman Tim Oxley.
Well, you got to send him right here. 3-1 count, turn him loose.
Right here.
2-run lead.
No question. Get him going.
As well as Brigham can run. Runner's not going. Ground ball to Raffo. Made a nice play trying to get to the hard way, but Ed Brigham with his outstanding speed slides in safely at second base.
Well, Brigham, as you said, doesn't go. Here's the close play at second base. And he just snuck his foot in there.
Now batting is the catcher, number 24.
Gator catcher Jose Fernandez, the batter, with Ned Brigham down at second and 1 out in the bottom of the third. Fernandez struck out in the first. The 0-1. Caught the outside corner. One. Oh, no balls and 2 strikes now.
Good pitch right there by Ellis. Looked like some kind of a changeup. Bottom dropped out and caught the corner. Tough pitch to hit.
He struck him out. 5th strikeout recorded by Terry Ellis. There are now 2 outs in the inning.
Well, he set him up with the changeup going to the outside, and then basically the same pitch. Moved it over a little bit and got him reaching. Or reaching the pullers, I should say. So Ellis just did a great job right there in the last 2 pitches to record another strikeout.
Curveball is low and away to Alan Rutledge. Another strikeout victim of Ellis in the first inning.
There's Steve Zare, the hero of game 1 on the left. Maybe that's
Tim Oxley's personal photographer.
Here you go.
Long throw by Masters. And the Bulldogs are out of the inning as the Gators leave a man stranded down at second base. Ned Brigham. Florida leading it 3-1.
I'm Ray Scott, and most folks know me as a bass fisherman.
Florida has a 3-1 lead, and the fans here enjoying it. A few folks start heading for the exits here as we begin the top of the fourth. But a good crowd.
That is the third baseman, number 23, Burke Masters.
Most of whom would like to see the Gators complete this doubleheader sweep. Johnny Wiggs with a 2-run lead against this ball club, though, and that's not very much of a cushion. Came in with a team average of almost 340. No balls and 2 strikes to Burke Masters, the third baseman. Grounded out to third his first time up. One ball and 2 strikes. 3 runs, 6 hits for the Gators. 1-1, 3 hits for the Bulldogs of Mississippi State. Foul ball out of play. Count remains 1-2. We'll be back tomorrow at 1:30 for the third game of this weekend series. A 9-inning affair.
Let's see what Johnny Wiggs does here. 1-2. Fastball in and up.
Hits it off the fist. Tim Oxley is there and makes the catch for the first out of the inning.
Well, whatever coach called that in the dugout, that was the quintessential call, huh? Perfect.
Jammed him with an inside fastball.
Here's Oxley's defensive work. Take 2.
Now batting is
John
number 3,
Shave,
second
who
baseman John Shave.
lined out to right in the second. Fastball is up and in. Shave hitless in the doubleheader. He's 0 for 3. Fastball inside. He didn't get it. 1 ball and a strike.
Hey, another line drive right here, great.
And of course, Todd Nance bats after Shave. Think he's had a few jokes down through the years.
Oh. I don't know if he makes a good play. They call it a stick pencil play, or yeah, I think he has. Probably too many.
And Shave unleashes a line drive single into left field. His first hit of the doubleheader. That'll bring up Todd Nance, who doubled in the second. That's the 4th hit of the game for Mississippi State.
At bat is the left fielder, number 26, Todd Nace.
Shave has stolen 4 bases this year. Youngster out of Fernandina Beach. If Wiggs throws over to first and almost gets him, is it a close shave?
I don't know, but you're going to see this shave right here get fooled.
And he did almost get him. Johnny's called timeout to do a little groundwork over there.
Mississippi State does not run a lot. Against the lefty with a lefty up, I can't see them doing it here. Want to keep that first baseman planted over there.
Fastball at the inside corner, and Ace didn't think so. 1-1.
Plus you have your number 9 hitter up. That guy right there, Johnny Wiggs, has Shave frozen at first base when he goes to home. Shave has not been able to figure out his move.
The 2-1 pitch. He's gone 3-1, and we have Winford in the on-deck circle, the leadoff man for Mississippi State.
You start to get in a dangerous area when you go to the top of the Mississippi State order. There's the former running back.
He has a brother on the ball club. Pop up in the infield. Mendez and Rutledge call for it, but Mendez makes the catch for the second out.
Big pitch on 3-1. If he does not pop out or he walks Nace in that situation, then you got first and second with the top of the order. Which gives you an idea what a big out that was in this ball game.
Biggest crowd of the year here tonight.
Stepping to the plate is the catcher.
Official attendance 2,805. And they've seen the Gators win one game, and Florida holds a 3-1 lead here in the second game in the top of the fourth with 2 outs in the inning. An 0-1 count to the leadoff man, Barry Winford. Has struck out and grounded to short. Fastball on the inside corner. It's 0-2.
Well, you can expect just about anything from this guy, Wiggs. He's had him pulling off a lot of breaking balls. Let's see if he goes with the backdoor slider here, a backdoor curveball. There it is.
And he struck him out. Nice job of pitching by Johnny Wiggs, who struck out 5 Bulldogs. Well, they got to throw him out. And they throw it down to second and tag second base. Well, the team was coming off the field. Apparently, the catcher had dropped the 3rd strike. We're going to keep it right here while the umpires talk about this situation.
Well, what had happened was, I believe, on the pitch, the ball bounced in the dirt, which doesn't make it a legal catch. With 2 outs, however, the ball definitely did bounce. Now they're going to maybe, let's see if they're going to call it a foul ball.
I thought Fernandez tagged the runner anyway.
Well, if it's a foul ball and it hits the dirt, it's just a foul ball. And Joe Arnold's going to find out. Let's see if we can see it again. If the only way is if they can rule that a foul ball. So if that's the call, if he ruled it a foul ball, it would stand as just that once a foul ball hits home. I think the argument is from the Florida side is he did not foul tip the ball. I'm sure that's their argument.
We have had some strange plays here tonight.
That man's been in the middle of just about all of them. I remember his weekend in Gainesville. Let's take another look at it, and the question is, did he foul this ball off or not? Let's see. Hardly.
You can't tell. Cannot
Not even
tell there.
Well, I don't think he did at all. Now, let's see what the umpire's doing. If we can keep that going.
Sure didn't look like a foul ball, but
Well, that's what they ruled it. Looked like he missed it. Now, what they might have done is appeal to one of the base umpires. He might have asked for help. And the home plate umpire from the first game, Ken Couch, I believe, called it a foul ball. So a break for Winford.
he's got new life. And an 0-2 count.
Well, they went with the backdoor curve. Let's see what they do here. Fastball in. Oh,
Johnny Wiggs, perhaps shaken by recent turn of events, threw that ball over everything. 1-2. This is almost a reversal of what we had in the first game when Mississippi State tried to change pitchers and had to trot their pitcher back out to the mound. Florida responded with a big base hit.
Johnny Wiggs could be upset about a lot of things at this point. Number one, the fact that he probably had the hitter struck out, and he's told to go back on the mound and do it again. I believe Fernandez said, hey, look, that's history. We got to go do the job at hand right now.
The 1-2. And a curveball's in the dirt. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Right now, Johnny Wiggs, more than anything else, needs to get some composure.
Absolutely. If it might take a trip to the mound, then you go do it. And Fernandez has already been out there. He needs to just step off, catch his breath, and go after the job that's in front of him. He can't really worry about what just happened.
The 2-2. Wiggs will get another shot. At the leadoff man, Barry Winford, who appeared to have struck out a few moments ago. John Shave is down at second. 2 outs in the 4th. Off the handle, but Oxley can't make the catch.
This is very reminiscent of the Steve Zare at bat before he hit the 2-run double in the first game. That at bat took forever, and this one's pretty close. You can take longer than forever.
2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Wiggs steps off the mound.
It's a new dance here in Gainesville. The bleacher bump.
Curveball struck him out for sure that time. So a nice job by Johnny Wiggs of regaining his composure after an unusual turn of events, but the Bulldogs come up empty in the top of the 4th.
Randy Whitman, the baseline jump shot.
There's a fan keeping score of this doubleheader.
Sure he's not playing win, lose, or draw?
Well, you never know.
Is the center fielder, number 2, Mike Moberg.
Mike Moberg leads off the inning, hits the ball well to left field. Todd Nance almost to the warning track, but he makes the catch for the out.
Well, that kept the fans' attention. Had it been earlier, perhaps it had gone out or off the fence. There is absolutely no wind to speak of at this point. Wind was blowing out to left at the beginning of the first game.
Now batting is number 15, left fielder, Brian Remsnyder.
Brian Remsnyder. Couple of singles, a run scored. It's the first pitch from Ellis. Tommy Raffo pitches to Ellis. And there are quickly 2 outs in the bottom of the 4th. 2 pitches, 2 outs for Ellis.
Now we're going to see the human rain delay from Tommy Edwards on deck.
Edwards a slow walk to home plate. He reached on an error, did Edwards in the second, singled in the first. And he's been on base every at-bat except once tonight.
Baseman number 4, Tommy Edwards.
The fastball is right through there for strike 1.
That pitch couldn't have been any better, but that man right there is a team player. With 2 quick outs, he's going to take that first pitch no matter where it went. Give his pitcher, Johnny Wiggs, a little time, a little rest.
He took a curveball for strike 2.
You know, Terry Ellis has settled down after a shaky first inning. Reminiscent of Jeff Gidcombe in the first game.
Ellis is retired 5 in a row. Reached out, poked the ball into center field. It drops in for a base hit. Second hit of the game for Tommy Edwards. 4th hit of the doubleheader for Florida's second baseman.
Well, he's fooled on this pitch. He checks his swing. Breaking ball. Actually goes through with it and just pops it over the shortstop's head.
Looked like a 9-iron I hit today out at the University Golf Course. Edwards is running, pitches in the dirt. Edwards sliding into second. He's out. Nice throw by Barry Winford. And the Gators are out of the 4th, still leading the Bulldogs 3-1.
Bullpen area. Look again. The Sharks are there.
But those guys out there are into this game 110%.
Well, they haven't turned around yet.
Top of the 5th, and John Cohen leads it off for Mississippi State. Facing the left-hander, Johnny Wiggs. All the scoring in the first. State got 1. Florida got 3, and that's where we've been ever since. Curveball is in for a strike, 1-1. Sidearm curve is in for strike 2. No, the home plate umpire called it a ball. I thought I saw him raise his right arm. Now it's 2-2.
And you'll be able to see on your monitor the pitch and the location as Jose Fernandez relays it to Johnny Wiggs right here.
Wiggs is facing the heart of the Mississippi State lineup. Curveball struck him out.
saw Jose flash the 2, meaning the breaking ball, and there it was in the crowd yelling foul.
Wiggs has his 6th strikeout of the game.
They called a breaking ball away. Johnny Wiggs, a pitch that he does very effectively, and against a left-handed hitter, that's a tough pitch to hit.
Number 6, center fielder, Jody Hurst.
Jody Hurst, a couple of hits in this second game. Fouled back near the press box, out of play. Hurst is 4 for 5 in the doubleheader. One ball, one strike. 1 out, top of the 5th. Tommy Raffo is on deck. Fastball is called strike 2, 2-2.
The fun thing about watching Johnny Wiggs pitch is he puts the ball right where Fernandez wants it every pitch. Right on the corner. That's right where he set up. Home plate umpire got a little dirty there. Let's see now. Let's see where he sets up. Breaking ball.
The 3-2. Caught him looking. 7th strikeout of the night for Johnny Wiggs, his 3rd in a row. There are 2 outs in the top of the 5th, and that brings up the first baseman, Tommy Raffo.
He saw the sign for the curveball. This is a guy with command of his pitches. Right on the corner, the back door. Hurst knew it.
Now batting is the first baseman, number 22,
2 down.
Tommy Raffo.
Raffo, a strikeout victim of Wiggs in the 3rd, walked in the 1st. One and one. The count to Tommy Raffo. Haven't seen anybody working in that Florida bullpen because Wiggs has been so solid since the 1st inning. Another fine breaking ball, 2-2.
Okay, now let's look in and see where Jose Fernandez wants this pitch and which pitch he wants. You're going to see the last pitch first. Okay.
Now here's the 2-2. He fouled it out of play.
Now watch the artist go to work. 2-2 count. Where do you want it? It's the breaking ball inside.
He struck out the side. Johnny Wiggs with 8 strikeouts in the game. 1, 2, 3. They go quietly in the 5th. We've played 4.5, and our score remains. The Florida Gators 3, the Mississippi State Bulldogs 1. You're watching Sports Channel Florida. Is he an athlete or a coach?
Alligator Dundee on hand as the celebrities come out to Perry.
One of a record crowd here. 2,800. Julio Mendez leads it off. He's 1 for 2. Julio was standing at home plate when Tommy Edwards on the first pitch tried to steal second and was thrown out to end the bottom of the 4th. Fastball is high. Mendez to be followed by Mario Linares and Ned Brigham. One big hop to Burke Masters, and there's 1 out in the inning. Mario Linares has had a tough time tonight against Mr. Ellis. He struck out in the first, struck out in the second.
And I think what he needs to do to be effective, David, is to go right side with Terry Ellis. He's been throwing him a lot of breaking balls away, and Mario's been trying to pull all these pitches. And Mario has good power opposite way.
Outside corner strike. First time in the first inning, he struck out with the bases loaded. In the second inning, Mario fanned with runners at first and second. This time he goes with a pitch and lines it into right field for a base hit.
That-a-way, Mario. That's how you get on base. You go with it. Breaking ball, keeps the hands back, goes with it. You see the hips pointing towards second base, which means that was his intention. Or I should say right field, pointing towards right field. That means that that's where the hole he was shooting for.
8th hit of the night for the Gators. And the right fielder, Ned Brigham, who singled home a run in the first, walked in the third. There's 1 out in the bottom of the 5th. The pitch by Ellis. Shave to short for 1, but Brigham beat the rap at first.
And he's calling an interference, or he's calling a obstruction play that he didn't go down. He took out the second baseman. They're calling the automatic double play.
That's going to end the inning.
And let's see what happens. You can get a great view of it right here. Oh my. Well, what he's saying from that shot, he's saying he wasn't able to reach second base in his slide. And Dave Howard obviously doesn't agree with it. If we get a first base shot of that coming from first base, we might be able to see that.
Meanwhile, Ken Counts, who would not win any popularity contest in Gainesville, Florida tonight.
Okay, I'm told we don't have that shot, but one of the rules that the umpires make that decision on is when you go into your slide, are you able to reach the base? And apparently not.
6 outs away from nailing down this victory, game number 2 of the doubleheader. We'll take a look at the inning ending, the controversial play that ended the last
And
inning.
what they're saying right here is Mario Linares went out of his way to go after the shortstop. I make that the second baseman, Shave. And by going out of his way, it's an automatic out. And that's a rule that isn't always enforced. This time it was.
Richie Graham for ball 1. Graham struck out in the first, strikeout in the third. Johnny thought that was a strike.
Yeah, watch the reaction right here, David. Watch this. What? He smiled as he heard it from the Gator dugout. And that's what they didn't want to have happen. They didn't want that one call to break his concentration.
Let's see if Graham had the red light, a green light to go. He took it for ball 4 anyway.
What does that tell you about Johnny Wiggs? 3-0 breaking ball. down up 2 runs.
Maybe it was a caution light and was yellow.
Ron
Shortstop
Polk.
Brad Hildreth will chat with Ron Polk before stepping in. It's getting late now, and the Bulldogs have got to figure out some way to manufacture a few runs here. Against a tough customer on the mound there, Johnny Wiggs.
Stepping to the plate is number 4, shortstop Brad Hildreth.
He might have told them, if you get behind in the count, let's take a strike, or let's just take a strike. I'm sure that's what the conversation was about.
Richie Graham on Wiggs's move was standing flat on the bag.
But he's going nowhere anyway, so Johnny Wiggs has to concentrate on this guy.
1 ball and 1 strike.
Obviously taking for a strike.
We've got a pinch hitter, and I think Pete Young is going to finally make an appearance in this game. Young is standing in the on-deck circle. He's been bothered by a little food poisoning, apparently, from today's pregame meal. Foul ball, wide of third base, 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Let's see how they play it right here. Talking about Wiggs, let's see where he's going to go after him. Will he go backdoor curve? Setting up inside.
Graham about a step and a half off the bag, scurries back.
Breaking ball in.
Lost it high down the right field side. Oxley giving chase.
Hey, guess what, Ricky? You weren't picked off on that one, buddy. You'd have been back in time.
And everybody moves back.
Back to the back, Ricky.
The last 3 pitches, Graham has been on his way back to first base as the ball has been delivered.
He's not going to have a good jump. That's for sure.
But he's a power hitter. He doesn't possess great speed to begin with. He should just take a one-way lead and just stay there.
Fly ball down the right field side, bending foul.
One-way lead meaning that you take off 2-3 steps, whatever your normal lead is, hold your ground, but have your momentum going back towards first in the event that he comes over there. If your momentum's leaning that way, you'll get back. He is not the tie run, so his run is unimportant at this time.
The fastball is outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes. No outs in the top of the 6th. Johnny Wiggs with a 3-1 lead.
It's the fastball. Nope.
He's gone full on the Bulldog shortstop.
I must have missed a finger there. Thought he had 1 finger down, obviously 2.
The 3-2 pitch. Pop into right field. Brigham says he's got it. And does for the first down in the inning.
Pitch was up, but Johnny Wiggs throwing a 3-2 fastball is about as confusing as anyone else throwing a 3-2 breaking ball. Look at Ned.
And here's Pete Young to the batter's box.
Pinch hitting for Mississippi State is number 31, Pete Young.
Young hitting .356. Was expected to play third base here tonight for Ron Polk's ball club, but as has been well documented throughout our doubleheader, got hold of some bad shrimp in the pregame meal, and Pete has not been up to par physically. Joe Arnold wants to make sure that Johnny Wiggs and Jose Fernandez understand how they're to pitch this young man, as he is one dangerous swinger. 9 home runs, 41 RBIs.
A past freshman All-American tabbed by Baseball America back, well, it was last year. Also a relief pitcher, and does a fine job setting up the relief ace Mike Martin. But with one swing, this man, bad shrimp and all, could tie this thing up.
Young's a sophomore from Summit, Mississippi. Edwards and Mendez at second and short would love to get a double play ball. Wiggs bends the breaking ball in for strike one. Count evens at 1-1.
Gators in double play depth, as these two on the bases, or the runner on the base and this hitter, are perfect candidates. On the other hand, Ron Polk sees it as a perfect opportunity to tie this thing up. Playing him the pull in the outfield.
Sends it down the right field line. Foul ball by a couple of feet. Two balls and 2 strikes to Pete Young.
Johnny Wiggs, when he's ahead in the count, is capable of any pitch. The most popular choice this evening is the backdoor curve. Sets up for a fastball.
Did he foul tip it?
I don't know what the call is. I believe they're just calling it a strikeout.
Now Young coming back in there.
Now they
Johnny
call it a
Wiggs
foul.
wants to know what's going on.
Here we go again, folks. Here comes Joe. Well, that looked like, from that shot, well, that was tough to tell. Johnny Wiggs laughing. It looked like it might have hit the back part of the glove. Joe Arnold talking to Jose Fernandez to get his opinion. Now Joe's hot.
Look at Tommy Edwards, the leader of this team. Now,
Joe's hot.
Johnny. Home plate umpire and Joe Arnold having some rather heated words, or at least one of the two is having some heated words. Joe's seen some unusual things here tonight. You can't really blame him for being a little bit more than a little bit upset.
John Cohn's father, the law professor at Alabama, will probably say he's bordering on contempt, and he's history.
Joe Arnold's just been thrown out of the game. And now you can be sure he'll hang around a little bit longer because he's got nothing to lose at this point. Well, he's already been thrown out of the game. For all you lip readers out there,
trying to put the kids to bed. Let's see that pitch one more time. From that shot, I think it looked like he fouled it off, but actually I think it hit him flush on the back part of the mitt.
For a transcript of tonight's broadcast, send a self-addressed stamped envelope to Merkel Press.
And Johnny Wiggs has been at this spot before. Last time it was to Barry Winford.
And he threw the next pitch over the catcher's head. The count is 2-2. No doubt about that one. And a standing ovation for Johnny Wiggs.
Another K.
Number 9.
They put a little breading on that one as he went up the ladder to get Pete Young.
There are now 2 outs in the inning. And John Shave, 1 for 2 with a single. And a line out to right to face Johnny Wiggs.
They can't say this doubleheader hasn't lacked controversy. Wonder what's coming up.
Still got a couple of innings left. Fastball is right through there. 1 ball and 1 strike. Richie Graham, who was just about to figure out Johnny Wiggs' move, is still at first. And there's a ground ball foul down the third base side.
Here's Mr. Graham. Let's see if he goes back door.
Rutledge goes for the force at second. Johnny Wiggs is out of another inning. We've played 5.5 from Perry Field. The Gators 3, the Bulldogs 1. We'll be right back.
Go against him has kept his composure and struck out the 2 hitters. And they're looking for Joe Arnold in the tunnel back there. There's Mike Parks. Gator pitcher is not in uniform tonight, and he's looking for Joe Arnold. And I think, and the door's locked. And there's Joe. He's letting him in.
You can't do that, Joe, he says. You got to leave the tunnel. Somebody tell him he can go to the TV truck right outside the stadium and watch it all right on Sports Channel.
And speaking of Sports Channel, here comes Primetime Oxley.
They got him out his last trip, but he singled home 2 runs in the first. That was a great scene, wasn't it? The home plate umpire going back and knocking on the door.
Joe letting him in.
One ball and 1 strike to Oxley. Fernandez is next, to be followed by Rutledge.
Perhaps they were just making plans for after the game. And there's Joe Arnold as we follow Joe. It's like Magellan. He's all over the place.
It's a manager without a home. 3-2. The crowd is really on the umpires now. And the leadoff man is on in the bottom of the 6th.
Oxley directed some words towards Ellis on an inside pitch, but I'm sure the last thing he wanted to do 3-2 was to walk him or even hit him.
That's only the second walk that Terry Ellis has given up tonight. He's very quietly since the first inning done one whale of a job. He struck out Fernandez twice tonight. Has a quick move over to first too, Ellis does.
Well, let's see how the Gators play it right here. Do they go for the insurance run and bunt, or they let Jose swing?
Base hit to right. Oxley stops at second. Fernandez is on at first. There's nobody out in the bottom of the sixth.
And warm-up activity in the bullpen. It looks like that's Job down there. Tracy Job warming up. And you definitely have a bunt situation going here.
The Gators have 9 hits now in the game.
Rutledge does not have a sacrifice bunt this year. If you look at Tracy Job, the right-hander.
Now batting is the third baseman, number 20, Ellis.
If you're wondering about Mike Martin getting loose, you're less inclined to go with your stopper behind in a ball game. And now Job is being joined by Wes Johnson, the left-hander. Jerry Kramer playing catch with Steve Zaire. And that could be because they may take Oxley out for a pinch hitter and put Zaire at first base. Excuse me, a pinch runner, and put Zaire at first base for defensive purposes in the top of the seventh. You perhaps will see that if a sacrifice bunt is successful here. There's Oxley. But the Gators have done a play, what they call the Butcher Boy play, where they'll have the guy fake the bunt or take the bunt on the first pitch and swing on the second. They've done that a few times this year. Let's see how they play it. Okay. All right. I'm predicting he's swinging here. I believe that was a setup. And I think that was a little acting job by Rutledge. And he's showing the bunt too early. I bet you he's drawing this thing back and taking a hack. Pete Young, I believe, is the new third baseman. He's creeping in at third.
He's calling it right, and Rutledge drives it deep to right field. Cohen makes the catch on the warning track. Oxley tags easily over to third. And the Gators have runners on the corners with one out. Nice call, Nick.
Thank you. We've seen it happen. The Gators do not sack. Of course, Mississippi State has no way of knowing that. However, with Rutledge with no sacks for the year. Now, Mike Moberg, who can lay a bunt down. They're in a squeeze situation, possible squeeze situation. So far, no signs of pinch running for Oxley. And you wonder where all this strategy is coming from, with Joe Arnold somewhere lurking in the parking lot.
Moberg, meanwhile, is looking for his first hit of the day. He was hitless in game 1, 0 for 3. He's flying to center and flying to left here in the nightcap. Runners at first and third, and the pitch from Ellis. Curveball over for strike 1. Moberg's hit the ball well tonight. He just hasn't found an open spot in the field. And he balked. He didn't have his foot off the rubber, says our first base umpire. You can fake a throw like that if your foot's off the rubber.
Either that or he was throwing to an unoccupied base or an uncovered base. Let's see what they're arguing here. And let's see what they called the balk on.
It's going to be a 4-1 lead, no matter what.
But he didn't throw the ball over there, so
I think he had his foot on the rubber.
That would have to be the call. Let's see if we can pick it up.
Well, Joe Arnold has already been tossed. Ron Polk upset about the call. Let's look at it again.
Well, he didn't stop either.
His foot was on the rubber when he faked the throw. That was a good call. His foot didn't leave the rubber until he turned to throw the ball to first base.
And that was in slow motion, so it was tough to see if he stopped. So it could have been either one or two things, and his foot did not look like it was off. Bottom line is, run for the Gators.
And Fernandez moves down to second. Moberg grounds it foul. No balls and 2 strikes. Oxley tagging up on that fly ball and getting down to third. Pays an instant dividend now, as it's now 4-1 with 1 out in the inning. Line drive to right field, in for a base hit. Off the glove of right fielder Cohen. Fernandez scores from second. Moberg is in sliding with a 2-base hit. And it's 5-1 Florida. Let's see if they score Cohen with an error out there and getting Moberg down to second, but it was an in-between hop. Let's look at it again.
Breaking ball, going the right side, just like Linares did an inning before. Lands in for the base hit. Good piece of hitting by Mike Moberg. Then it gets away from the right fielder. And you see Mike Moberg not even close at second base as another run scores, making it 5-1, and we have a pitching change.
And they have charged Cohen with an error in right field, allowing Moberg to get down to second. So that's going to be it for Terry Ellis, who struggled in the first inning, but then pitched solid baseball in innings 2, 3, 4, and 5, and then gets a shower here in the 6th.
Wes Johnson, the lefty, in with a 2-0 record. And you look at that, 15 innings. And in that 15 innings, 22 strikeouts, however, 14 walks. So Wes Johnson on in relief from Manatee, Mississippi, the left-hander is. He's a strikeout pitcher, so that's what happens a lot of times when you go for the strikeout. Your control is not at its best. If you look at the Gator bench, Wes Johnson on in relief, and the possessor of what Ron Polk called a nasty breaking ball. Has got a lot of bite to it. Rem Snyder, the hitter, the left-handed hitter. And the key for Wes Johnson, he needs to be effective, is to get ahead of these hitters. Then he makes him go after his pitch, which is that chase slider that we were just talking about. A slider that starts middle outer half of the plate and has a wicked break to it, and you swing at that pitch, if you're not going that way, you come up with error.
I'll tell you one happy guy in this stadium right now is Johnny Wiggs. He's got 3 outs left in this game, and now he had been looking at a 2-run lead, and suddenly he's up 4.
And another one would be Joe Arnold, but who knows where he is.
That's right. Mike Moberg is down at second. Excuse me, Nick.
I'm trying to check the top of the O'Connell Center and see if I can see number 11 somewhere.
Pair of field glasses. Rem Snyder at the plate to face Wes Johnson. High fly ball in the infield. Pete Young calls for it and makes the catch for the second out in the inning. Moberg still down at second now as we have 2 outs in the bottom of the 6th. Couple of runs already across. And Tommy Edwards, who's had a tremendous night at the plate, steps in there. He's got 2 hits in this game. He reached on an error his other time up. Drove in the winning run with a 6th inning triple in game 1 of the doubleheader.
Number 4, second baseman, Tommy Edwards.
He's 4 for 6 in the doubleheader. The fastball is outside. Looking ahead to the top of the 7th, Mississippi State has 9, 1, and 2 up. 1 ball and 1 strike. Fastball is high, 2-1. Edwards didn't like the call on a breaking ball to the outside portion of the plate, but the count evens at 2-2.
John Cohn, the right fielder, playing shallow in the event that Edwards sneaks one in the hole between first and second.
The 2-2. Johnson struck him out, but the Gators get 2 runs in the bottom of the 6th, and they carry a 4-run lead into the top half of the 7th inning.
The last pitch to, we're going to go to the balk play right here. Well, it could have been a variety of things. It didn't look like he stopped right there. That was one of the calls, or one of the possibilities, I should say. The other one could have been where his foot was on the rubber,
which you really couldn't see from that angle.
But when that was in fast motion, it did not look like he stopped. He brought it down and came right back up.
Yeah.
And it was that sudden move that might have caught the attention of the umpire. So that may have been the reason for the ball call. And we'll see how large that looms as we go to the top of the 7th, which is the last inning.
You know, one thing Polk could have been really upset about was, I believe it was the first base umpire that made the balk call, not the third base umpire, and the right-hander was facing the third base side. We have a pinch hitter to start the top of the 7th, and what will be the final inning if Mississippi State can't get at least 4 runs. Jimmy Gamble facing the left-hander Johnny Wiggs. Gamble was a pinch hitter in the first game of the doubleheader.
Struck out looking, I believe.
Yep. Gidcombe got him for the second out in the last inning of game 1. 1 ball and 1 strike to Jimmy Gamble. Beautiful curveball. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
No, it's 2-1. He made a motion as if the pitch was down.
Well, he had everybody in the stadium fooled. Now it's 2-2.
And you look at the rally cap worn by one of the Mississippi State people. There's another.
Strikeout number 10 for Johnny Wiggs.
And it was a set-up pitch. Came with the breaking ball and sneaks the fastball by him. This adds at least 5 miles an hour to the. Look how tied up he is. He's waiting for that ball to break. His hips were all crossed over. Had him totally fooled on that pitch. When I say adds 5 miles an hour to the pitch and the illusion of the hitter thinks that ball's coming in a lot quicker. It bores in on him that much faster because you were sitting there with your hands back, waiting breaker, and that ball sneaks right by you.
Strike 1 to the leadoff man, Barry Winford.
Well, we called Johnny Wiggs the artist, and he's been painting corners, changing speeds all night.